A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
You're now back in the booth with Big Man and Jay Lee on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
All right, here we go.
I'm waiting for that fight.
Here we go.
Tyson Roy Jones. I dropped $200 right now.
The heavyweight division is so terrible. Lennox Lewis could come back right now.
Yeah, he could.
What about Riddick Bowe?
No. Dope Fiends can't do it.
Razor Ruddock?
No man. Only Lennox Lewis.
Trevor Berbick?
Only Lennox Lewis.
Pinklin Thomas.
Mitch Green.
It's blood green.
His eye still swole from Tyson kicked his ass outside.
All right, Leon.
Yeah, I know.
Here we go.
He's 2 weeks late for the parade.
Woo! All right, here we go, man.
Number 5. Oh, this is Leon's top 5 current NFL players.
And my reasoning.
And your reasons for
Number 5, I'm going with somebody who just played in 1 year, made an impact just as great as any other defensive player in the league this year, and this Ndamukong Suh. The Detroit defense got better this year because of the push from their guys up front, and it was spearheaded by the insane Nigerian or whatever he is. Dude's got a high motor. He's a beast. And when Fairley pairs with him next year, Fairley keeps his head on straight, they might have the best defensive line in the NFL. And you're not going to tell me Detroit weren't in games this year because of their defense. Their offense hurt them more this year than anything.
And that didn't get better.
No, which brings me to number 4. Megatron. I'm staying with Detroit. If you didn't see the flashes of listen, but
the
top
hold 5 players.
But let's be honest. No. The flashes. You didn't let me finish, big man. The flashes of brilliance in their offense. Megatron was solid all year. It ain't a defensive back can cover him one-on-one. Bears found that out last second, but due to a bullshit rule, they got a loss take. They got a W snatched out of them. 6'5". 6'5", runs like the wind. I think the only other receiver in the NFL is stronger than him is Andre Johnson. Would you not agree?
Yeah. So he's better than Andre Johnson.
No. I said the only receiver that's as strong as him or stronger than him is Andre Johnson.
Okay.
Andre Johnson's probably a better route runner now, but how long has Andre Johnson been in the league?
About 6 years.
How long has Megatron been in the league? 3? Okay. And what Matt Schaub is 10 times better quarterback than John Kitna. Understand who Megatron had throwing to him all year, because the kid from Georgia, Stafford, can't stay off the injured list.
Okay.
That's 2 years in a row he has not had a starting quarterback. When he had the boy throwing to him, they were lighting the NFC North up.
Okay.
Right or wrong?
We got
right or wrong?
Your top 5, we got 2 lines.
Number 3, Ed Reed. Whatever. You can diss the team, but we said players. That has nothing to do with the squad.
All right, man. We here.
And at the end of the day, on that argument too, tell me Detroit wasn't a couple of games better because of those 2 players.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, take those 2 players away from Detroit.
Okay.
They really suck.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Ed Reed.
Heart next to Ray Lewis, heart and soul of that Ravens defense. One of the few defensive players in the league, even with Darrelle Revis, great cornerback as he is, and some of the other safeties, minus Troy Polamalu, you're not scared of him taking the ball all the way back. When Ed Reed touches the ball, when he makes a play, there's always the threat for it to go back the other way for 6. Not just an interception, a pick 6, or in crucial situations when the game is on the line, Ed Reed says, let me go back and return the kick. Yeah. Who does that?
No.
Polamalu doesn't do that. And he's a captain behind Ray Lewis on their defense, can still lower the boom on you. He's getting a little, I don't really think he's getting up in age. I think he's just tired of the game.
He's hurt.
Personally, he's hurt.
His neck, and he had a neck injury.
And he hasn't had a chance to heal properly because he stays on the field. He's a warrior.
I'm going to give him this also. Led the league in interceptions last year and only missed 4 or 5 games last year?
I just quick question, not trying to knock you.
Go ahead.
Now, the same thing that you said about Ray Lewis, that he's surrounded by great defensive talent, does that affect Ed Reed at all? Or?
No.
So that doesn't factor in?
No, I think Ed Reed can go out and cover anybody one-on-one. He's proven it.
Okay.
He's covered the greats one-on-one. He's matched up from the safety position. He's like a hybrid safety. He's like that in between cornerback.
That's what they teach at the U.
There it is right there.
That's what they teach at the U.
But there it is right there.
That's the U.
Number 2.
So now we go. I'm on. That was number 3, right?
Yeah, we're on number 2.
All right, number 2. I had. Help me out, man.
Michael Vick.
And we We don't even have to discuss this. James said a lot of it. This is the most for a defensive coordinator. This is the most nerve-wracking person to prepare a game plan for, because, excuse my French, that shit falls apart when dude starts running around the field. And there has been no quarterback able to match it. Even the great Randall Cunningham, guys like that who scramble, Steve Young. Once Michael Vick gets fully focused, when he ain't fighting dogs, once you saw that he fully got focused with a guy who coaches quarterbacks and read, and learn the playbook and learn how to read and check down and do everything and learn how to make plays with his arm, it's scary.
The NFL Network's top 100 had him at 20, I believe. Why do you think that was? Why do you think he made both?
Because he's black.
He's number 2.
He's black.
Allegedly.
You don't want to say it. He's black.
Jay Lee.
And he killed.
Jay Lee. What?
And he killed dogs.
Jay Lee.
Allegedly, the players voted for him, but I think if the players would have voted, there's no way in the world he was going to fall.
Do we know which players
That's
voted?
what I'm saying. If the players vote, Michael Vick's not 20.
Jay Lee.
And are the players dog lovers?
I think Leon just played the race card.
Hell yeah, I played the race card. Y'all scared to say
and
it?
slapped it on the table.
Y'all scared? The top 5 players.
Well, no.
The top 5 players.
If
two of them were defensive.
If the race card gets played, you got to let us know so we can cue it up.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So we can cue it up.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The top 5 players that were picked. Mm-hmm. It was 2 brothers in the top 5 or 3?
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Adrian Peterson. 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
3.
And only 1 offensive player on the black hand side. But you mean to tell me it ain't no game changes on the offensive side? Defense, they know he can play defense. He can run and tackle somebody. But if you got to think and do something, you can't. Why not? Why not Michael Vick? He's 2011.
The players.
Only reason he lost MVP award, he got hurt. The MVP award was his to lose last year. Say it wasn't.
And Tom Brady didn't throw a pick and could have thrown a touchdown pass.
Who was the MVP awards to lose last year?
After that Washington game,
It was
that
Vic.
sold it up. That was the greatest performance ever
Ever.
that I've ever seen.
It was his to lose. He got hurt. Never was the same for the rest of the season. Was banged up. Played the rest of the season banged
That's his game, though. He's going to get hurt.
up. No, he doesn't have to
He's
get
going
hurt.
to get hurt.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that how many years removed from prison?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years removed from prison, and he was being touted for MVP of the league. What other athlete can do that in the NFL?
But I'm just saying that every year he's probably gonna get hurt every year.
No,
he's not gonna play.
It's
play
not
16
because
games.
the more and more he studies and learns how to make plays with his arm, he's gonna make plays with his arm. And then it comes down to you fat asses on the offensive line keep people off me because I give you the advantage.
I love how he lumped me in.
No, let me. You as an offensive lineman, you know
He's basically saying you are an offensive line.
man, no, I love him though.
I know.
Look, he could be a defensive lineman. Okay,
He said
you know
fat
yourself. You know
And he looked
yourself.
at you.
He looked at me.
He said, "You fat asses."
I like, damn. What did I do?
You know yourself, man. You know yourself.
You know yourself being a fat ass. Being a fat ass, you know.
You're killing.
Get your fat ass up.
No, you guys that play football.
Yeah.
You know, as an offensive lineman,
Right.
with Michael Vick, hold your block for 3 seconds, and then if it breaks down, like James said, he's past the defensive line and the linebackers in 3 steps.
Yeah.
Right.
No other quarterback in the league can do that. That's running back talent with the arm of a quarterback. He can throw the ball. He just has to learn the subtle nuances of the game, and being in jail slowed that learning curve down. He could have had that learning curve if he'd have took it seriously while he was with Atlanta. And let me ask you a question. Name his receivers, his years in Atlanta.
Let's not go there.
Okay.
I
and you know,
that,
and he turned that franchise around by himself.
Peerless Price, Brian Finneran.
Thank you. Everybody you sub out on Madden to put in some rookie with 92 speed, but he's 63 overall.
Yeah.
Now, so what I'm saying is, now you put him in Philadelphia. You put him in a situation where he's got Deshaun Jackson. He's got young, talented receivers. He's got a young, talented running back behind him. And the possibility you might get a veteran guy in Plaxico Burress who can even give him another big target underneath. Dude is unstoppable. But let's
number one.
we off that. Number one,
Yeah.
I had
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson,
Yes.
and let me tell you why.
Here we go. This is amazing to me. Chris Johnson's your number one guy. Go ahead.
You want to know why?
Go ahead.
Once again, another dude inside the 20 or on his own 20 when he touches the ball, bye-bye. And unlike your boy, who the NFL had at number 5, he don't fumble like Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson was number 3. He was number 3.
He doesn't fumble like AP, and AP fumbles in crucial situations, and you can say what you want to, but I've seen games turn on his fumbles.
Yes.
But I've seen Chris Johnson, who Tennessee doesn't have a hellified offensive line. It's not like they're one of the best. This guy has been consistently trying to run for 2,000 yards a year since he's been in the league. Fast. He's not a small guy, so he can put his shoulder down. But why do that when I can just turn the corner and nobody in the league can catch me on the defensive side of the ball? Name when you seen Chris Johnson ran down.
Oh, no. It's not gonna happen.
And he's durable. He hasn't been hurt a lot.
Now, let me ask you this. What was your criteria for your top 5?
My criteria was
Because-
one, the effect that they have on the ball game, the playmaking differential, how many times, what kind of threat are they? Do teams set up to stop them? And everybody that I mentioned, you set up to stop Michael Vick, but you can't. You set up to stop Chris Johnson, but you can't. You set up to stop Megatron, but you can't unless he's got a bum-ass dude that used to work at Target throwing them the ball. And he's still going to catch a touchdown.
But let me ask you this
By the way,
question.
Sean Hill never worked at Target.
Kittner did, though.
Sean Hill was my boy. He carried me to second place in my fantasy league last year.
Yeah, with the illegal-ass trade.
Yeah, you saw that. The Vince McMahon, with that Vince McMahon-led league we had. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, here we go with that again.
Just saying.
So my thing I want to go back to Calvin Johnson. Is Calvin Johnson better than Andre Johnson? He has to be.
If he's in your top 5.
If he's in my top 5?
He's in your top 5. So he got to be, right? That's the question. Because when I saw that,
but a lot of that is based off speculation. Andre Johnson has had the same guy throwing to him for the past 2 years?
Right, so
3 years.
you see that, and that's why the criteria is so weird.
And exactly,
and
that's why it's called my list, and that's why it's called James' list.
Well, my question. Here we go. What emphasis did you?
So
put
you're
on,
saying you have a problem with Calvin Johnson?
No, I don't have a problem. No, he is a good player.
I don't-
I'm just saying if we're gonna go,
He's not a great player?
That means he's the best. You think he's the best wide receiver?
Yes, I do.
In
Then,
the league.
yes, I do.
I don't think.
I don't
so.
have a problem with any of the players on your list, but I just have 2 questions.
Okay.
My first question: was there any emphasis put on winning? Because three of the guys in your top 5 come from teams with losing records.
No, but it's not the top 5 best players on the best teams. It's the best players.
Okay. So other than the Lions, who won 6 games, I'm going to go Chris Johnson. The reason why I wouldn't have Chris Johnson at number 1, just because he plays running back. If you were to tell me that Chris Johnson, which he did, he had a 2,000-yard rushing season, and they only won 8 games, didn't make the playoffs.
What did Minnesota do last year? And both of y'all had Peterson.
No, I didn't.
I
You
didn't
had
want-
no,
who had
no,
one?
none of us.
That was the
But the NFL had
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But how many games did Minnesota win? They sucked
They
last
did.
year.
Yeah, they did.
But that-
and that was a time for him to show that I'm a great player. I can carry this squad.
but
Could he carry them to 6 wins or 8 wins?
That's why he's not in my
But
top 5.
but that's what
But you based it on winning.
But what I'm saying is, as a running back, you have an impact on the game, but it's not that vital. Like if a running back, think of the running backs that have had great seasons, 2,000-yard seasons, 1,700-yard seasons. What have their teams done?
So you
Jamal Lewis, 2,000 yards. Chris Johnson,
I
2,000
counteract
yards.
that with Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Houston didn't have a good season.
Exactly. But if you were to tell me that a quarterback or a wide receiver had an all-time great season, chances are that's close to 16-0. They're 13-3.